Hello and welcome to another episode of the Monday Book Club. This week, as promised last time, we're looking at American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Now, this is a massive version of the book. It is essentially the director's cut. They call it the author's preferred text, and it really is well worth getting hold of this copy rather than the original version that's put out, because the detail that is added back in enhances the text so much. Now, this is the story of Shadow. A guy is in prison, and when he gets released, he ends up getting caught up in this whirlwind of weird goings on in all kinds of strange superstitions and old gods and all kinds of things. I love the idea that all of the old gods have come over from the old world to the new, but find that they can't really get a foothold in America and it doesn't work out for them, and they're all losing all of their believers and they're not as powerful as they once were. So it's like, what happens when gods suddenly have to get a job, that kind of thing. It's not really that kind of level, but it's that kind of idea. It's very, very cool. The way that they're presented, it feels real. It feels like these supernatural creatures could actually exist. And that is something I love. It's urban fantasy done properly, where it's not just, oh, down the street there's a guy who's a fairy and he works in the video shop. That kind of thing. It's nothing like that. It's, these people are real. They feel real. It's like the supernatural part of them is just another thing, like, oh, that person down the street, he's got brown hair. Well, in this case, oh, that person down the street, he used to be the ancient god of war for X, Y, and Z culture, and it's influenced his personality and his way of doing things, but he's still a real person at the end of the day, rather than just, this is this character. Neil Gaiman is brilliant at writing that kind of story where even the most fantastic elements really feel real, and you can believe it. It's a very good way of suspending disbelief. If there was one thing that I'd say against this book, is that the plot meanders a fair bit. There are certain parts where you're sitting and thinking, was that really necessary? How does this advance things? It's like a whirlwind tour of America rather than a full story start, middle, end. So come into it realising that you're going to go for a bit of a journey rather than a straight arrow line from start to finish. I like that most of the time, but there are little bits where it's like, yeah, we could have cut this bit out. Anyway, I don't want to talk too long about it because it's a very popular book and reviews are everywhere. I'm going to say it's well worth having a read. It is a fantastic story, so well written and so believable that you won't be disappointed if you pick up a copy. Anyway, that's American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Well worth having a look at, and I recommend it for everyone. Anyway, next week we're going to go back to the independent books rather than the established authors, and we're going to be looking at The Tralisk Ruins by Michael McCloskey. It's the first in his trilogy of science fiction, and it's pretty good. I'd like to know what you think about it as well, so if you've read it, do give me a comment in the description bar below, and we can talk about that as well. But until next time, thank you very much for watching the Monday Book Club. If you did like this, remember to click a like button. Share it with your friends so they know a good book when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching the Monday Book Club, and I'll see you next week.